Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Fraser Field for a big one here early in the season here on LETV, but it's a big one in the city. We have two Lynn teams, Lynn Tech from the Commonwealth Conference, Lynn English from the Greater Boston League. Lynn Tech trying to go over 500, they're 2-2. English played their first game yesterday, and they would like to forget about it. They had a not very good game, and they wound up losing 12-0. Somerville got 12 runs in 2 innings, 7 in 1 inning, 5 in the last inning. English wound up with 1 base hit and had a series of walks and errors that virtually gave the game away. So they're hoping that this will be a better day. Eddie Lewis, who I've known for a very long time, I did his games when he played at Tech. Esteban Paula, coaching Lynn English. Eddie Lewis coaching Lynn Tech. And Esteban Paula coaching Lynn English. I've known him for a very long time. He was a very good athlete at Lynn English. And both these guys have done a very nice job coaching their respective teams. So now this is a big one. You know, these are the kind of games that if you don't, you want to win every game. But if you don't win or make the tournament, these are the games you want to win, the games you play against the inner city teams. Everybody knows everybody. They play against each other in other sports. They may be neighbors. They may be good friends. They know each other. So this is the game that you look forward to winning. Lynn Tech is the visitors. It'll be Eddie Lewis Jr., coach's son, leading off, playing shortstop. Colin Newhall, the left fielder, bats second. Jaron Quinones, the third baseman, hits number 3. Batting cleanup and pitching, Jendal Diaz. Catching and batting fifth, Dylan Nordyke. Albert Collado, the second baseman, hits number 6. Batting seventh and playing first base, Richard Nangle. Tyree Spain, the right fielder, will hit number 8. And bringing up the tail end of the batting order, the center fielder, Chris Boyd. And again, it's almost the middle of April, and we're still having miserable weather. The sun is not out. It's overcast. No blue skies. The wind is blowing. It is cold. Not baseball weather. It's certainly not weather to sit out and watch. And we have, I think, 10 fans who are here watching. And the only noise you'll hear will be from the 2 dugouts. High and tight for a ball. Engel Thomas on the mound for the Bulldogs. Swing and a miss. Elian Pena. Way up and in for a ball. English didn't have a lot of time to let that yesterday's game evaporate because they're right back here again. Lewis draws a walk leading off the game. Colin Newhall, the left fielder, is the hitter. Down the way for a ball. The runner takes off. You got a good pitch to run on, up and in. And he overslid the bag, but he was able to get back. So Tech, right off the bat, leadoff hitter is at second base in scoring position with nobody out. Squaring to bunt, gets it down. Thomas will make the play to Gilbert Galva. So I get the first out, but Lewis Jr. moves over to third on the sacrifice. And Jaron Quinones, the third baseman, has a chance to give Tech the lead if he can put the ball in play. Way up for a ball. English changed up today. Yesterday they were wearing their black jerseys. Today they're all white. Swing and a miss. Some loud voices coming from the Tech dugout. Hit back foul, out of play. The 1-2 pitch. This is wide for a ball. And the count evens at 2. Call strike 3, right down the middle. Took the pitch. That's a big strikeout. So it gets left up to Jendal Diaz, the pitcher. He can help himself. First thing he does is slap hands with the catcher Penny. I told you, these kids on both sides, they know each other well. Swing and a miss. Hit in here to left field. Coming in, backing up, taking the one-handed catch is Julian Rodriguez. He started in, started back, made the one-handed catch. So Tech threatens. They get a walk, a stolen base, a sacrifice. They had to run with third with 1 out. And a big strikeout and a flyout gets English off the hook. Jendal Diaz will be on the mound, and he'll be throwing to Dylan Nordyke, the catcher, as he starts his first inning of work. English will have Eward Beato, the shortstop, leading off. Gilbert Galva, the center fielder, will bat second. Playing third and batting third, Chariel Benson. The first baseman, Gilbert Galva, will hit in the claimer spot. We're glad he came back. He got hurt. He was one of 3 base runners that they had yesterday. He, on a strikeout, they threw the ball wide at first base. He was safe. We think he tripped over the bag. And he went down anyway and didn't come back in the game. He was replaced. So we're glad to see him back in the game. Gilbert Galva at first is hitting fourth. The pitcher, Engel Thomas, will hit number 5. Julian Rodriguez, who made that one-handed catch in left field, will bat 6th. Catching and batting 7th, Elian Pena. Josue Prandy, the second baseman, will hit number 8. And bringing up the tail end of the batting order, Saul Herrera is the DH. He's hitting for the right fielder, Danel Fuentes. So Tech has an opportunity to get on the board first. Now English will have that opportunity because Tech left Eddie Lewis Jr. at third base. We mentioned Tech trying to get over 500. English trying to get to 500. It was their first game yesterday. They had some exhibition games, preseason games, but they're one of the few teams that hadn't played up until yesterday. Most teams have played a few. Diaz on the mound, coming from the left side. I believe it's a track practice going on over at Manning Field. Prior to that, the St. Mary's students come over every day and they run the track, and if there's a game going on that they have to leave, they go out in the parking lot and they run the hill over behind the parking lot. They work out quite a bit. St. Mary's gets involved. I should not, excuse me, St. Pius students come over and run the track and run the hill. So Piedo, I'll say it both ways, hope I get it right once. The shortstop will lead it off. High and tight for a ball. Started to pull the trigger and held out. Now the noise comes from the English dugout. In for a strike. Outfield's playing awful deep. Chop foul towards the third base coach. One, two, the count. Hit the shot. Good strong throw by Eddie Lewis Jr. over to Nangle at first base. One up, one down on the ground to the shortstop. Gilbert Galva, the center fielder. This is for the bragging rights. Two Lynn teams. Hit in the air, it's going to go out of play. Up in the seats. Wide for ball. Galva was the starting pitcher. Yesterday had 3 strong innings, giving up 1 base runner with a walk. But then the 4th inning came. Somerville started hitting the ball, and they scored 7 runs and put the game away. Down and in for a ball. Hit in the air to left field. Long run for the left fielder. Runs out of real estate as it's foul and out of play. That was Newhall chasing that right a long way. Count evens at 2. Hit to third. Long throw. Nice play by Quinones, the third baseman. Nangle at first gets his second put out. So Galva hit it well, but hit it right at the third baseman. 2 up, 2 down. for Jarrell Benzin. Way inside. He had to get out of the way of that one. Now he says it hit him. He's saying it hit him. So he becomes a base runner. Gilbert Galva, the first baseman. In for a strike. Down and in for a ball. Not much better day today than yesterday. The only difference, yesterday's game was supposed to start at 4. It didn't start until almost 5. Some of them had a tough time getting here with traffic and having a difficult time. Swing and a miss, it gets away. So he goes to second on the pass ball. And by the time they got here, it was close to 5 o'clock, and then a long game. We didn't get out here. We were here early for a 4 o'clock game. We didn't get out here till 7:30. So it was a long day yesterday, and it was cold. So this is a little better. With 2 Lynn teams, we started virtually on time. And the umpires are happy, too. Swing and a miss. So both pitchers come up with a big strikeout with runners in scoring position. Diaz comes for the 3rd out. So both teams leave a runner in scoring position. We played an inning in this intercity battle. We started even, we finished even. 0-0, Tech and English. Dylan Nordyke, the catcher, will lead off for Tech in the top of the 2nd inning as Engel Thomas starts his first inning of work on the mound. And here goes the noise from the Tech dugout. Swing and a miss. On the inside corner, it just broke nicely on the inside corner. And it's 0-2. Hit in the air to left field, almost in his tracks. Again with the one-handed catch. Julian Rodriguez makes his second play back-to-back. He made the last one ending the 1st inning. He makes the first one start in the 2nd inning. Albert Collado, the second baseman, will be the hitter. Fishing inside for a ball. Swing and a miss. High for a ball. 2 on the count to the Tigers' second baseman. So it's the Bulldogs against the Tigers. Chased that pitch. It was way up and in. That was ball 3, no question. And he took a little half a step back and swung right through it over his head. And the count evens at 2. So Thomas got a little bit of help with that pitch. Pitching up and away, and the count goes full. Called third strike, took it looking. Second strikeout for Thomas, and both of them went down the middle, and both times took it looking. Richard Nangle, the first baseman, is the hitter. That's going to be up in the seats out of play. Hit up in the seats again. Just got a piece that was high and tight. Waved at it, bounced it off the catcher, and the count stays 2 strikes. So the 0-2 pitch up and coming. Just a little bit high. That was over the plate, but it was just a little bit high. That's a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. One, two, the count. Hit foul back. So Nangle hanging in. Everybody started to leave the field. They thought that was strike 3. Thomas thought he had a strikeout. Instead, we got deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in inning number 2. Hit in the air, coming on Galva, going out the shortstop, off the shortstop's glove. It'll be a base hit. I think Galva could have probably made the play, but he slowed down when Biedo tried to make it. So Nangle gets a base hit. First hit of the game. Biedo went way out, reached, stretched for it, couldn't get it. Galva probably could have made the play. So Tech has a base runner with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Tyree Spain, the right fielder. Pieta went a long way out to center field. That's a long run for the shortstop. He reached as far as he could and just couldn't get there. That pitch was over his head inside, and he swung right through it. I don't know if he was swinging because he thought he could hit it or swinging to save his life because it was right at his head. 2 strikeouts in the inning, but Thomas gives up the first hit of the ball game. So Tech, the base hit by Nangle is left at first base. Thomas picks up his second and third strikeouts. And English again will get a chance to get on the board first, as will be 5, 6, and 7. English will be one of the 4 teams playing in the Mullins tournament, the Dougie Mullins tournament. It's nice that they could remember an outstanding young man. He left way too early. He was outstanding, not only coaching and head coaching, but also with the kids, but also helping them off the field as well. He was an outstanding person, helping a lot of people and a lot of young kids, and he left way too soon. And it's good that they're honoring him every year. They've given out $12,000 in scholarships to the 4 teams. It's English, Classical, St. Mary's, and Swampscott. Joe Caponegro, who was a coach at English when Dougie worked with him, got it started. Thomas the pitcher. So pitcher against pitcher here, starting the second inning. 5, 6, and 7 for the Bulldogs. Hit back foul. We're glad that hit the backstop. We had one the other day over the backstop into the press box. Actually hit my score sheet. I had to duck out of the way. It came right into the press box. And there's another hit batsman. Second hit batsman. This one leads the second inning. Julian Rodriguez, the left fielder, will be the hitter. So English gets their leadoff hitter on base. Coach Malaya down at first base checking with Thomas to make sure he's okay. They're not running for him. They could run for him without penalty to him or the runner. And he hits the runner again. Three of the last 4 hitters have been hit by Diaz. English has first and second with nobody out. Pena the catcher. Elian Pena. Let's see if they bunt here. Again, the Tech outfield very deep. No question a base hit would score a run. Missing down and in. Didn't show bunt. Wide for ball 2. In for a strike. Taking all the way with the count 2-0. Thomas at second, Rodriguez at first. Both got hit by pitches. In for strike 2. After going 2-0, he comes back and evens the count at 2. Josue Prandy, the second baseman, on deck. Thought about it, held up, the pitch was outside, and the count goes full. Payoff pitch up and coming. This is for ball 4. So English hasn't put the ball in play yet in the second inning, but they got the bases loaded and nobody out for Josue Prandy. Way inside for a ball. Down and in, 2-0. That one's in for a strike. He started 2-0 on Pena, came back to 2-2, and then walked him. Hit foul to the backstop. The count evens at 2. Missed outside. Big pitch coming up for both teams. The payoff pitch. It in the air to right field. Coming on. Making the play. The run's going to score easily. So Crandy comes through with a sacrifice fly. Thomas helps himself score in the first run. Rodriguez tags and goes to third. And Saul Herrera, the DH, hitting for the right fielder, Janel Fuentes, will be the hitter. Let's see how long they keep Pena at first base. Not very long. He steals second. So second and third with one out and a run in. Line shot, but it was inside out swing. He hits it well. Foul up in the seats. So 2 hit batsmen, a walk, loaded the bases, a sacrifice fly. Gets English on the board first. Swing and a miss. Off the catcher, but not far enough for anybody to go anyway. 1-2 the count. Top of the order. Eward Piado on deck. Hit the third. Late coming home. It was playable for a play at the plate, but he bobbled the ball enough. And Rodriguez is able to beat the throw home. So the fielder's choice. brings a run in. They had it. They were able to make a play at the plate, but he bobbled it just enough so that the runner was able to beat the throw home by an eyelash. And English has put 2 on the board. And they have runners at first and third with 1 out with the top of the order up. Pieto, the shortstop, grounded out, shot to first. And I'm assuming Herrera is going to steal second base. Hit in the air to right field. Coming on, the right fielder makes the play. The runner's going to score. So 2 fly balls to right field, knocking runs. The fielder's choice brings in another one. And English is struck for 3. The runner goes. The ball goes to the backstop. He's in easily with a stolen base. He was on the move, stealing second when they hit the fly ball to right field. Kilmer-Galva grounded out. Hit it hard, but hit it right at the third baseman. To the backstop again. So the wild pitch puts the runner at third. Hit to right field. Coming on, the right fielder makes his 3rd play of the inning. This one won't bring in a run because it's the 3rd out. So English sends 7 to the plate. They put 3 on the board. They do it without a base hit. 2-hit batsman, a walk, and a fielder's choice. And we played 2. As we move into the top of the 3rd, English has jumped on top 3-0 over Tech. 9-1-2 for Tech as we start the 3rd inning. Thomas on the mound will start his 3rd inning of work, and he's been given a 3-0 lead. English scoring without getting a hit. Boyd is the center fielder for Tech. Over but low for a ball. Kyle Furlong has moved over to first base. Galva, we mentioned Galva had a difficult time. Nice try by the shortstop. Pieto went way to his left. That looked like a base hit going into center field. So Boyd gets the second hit. 2 hits in the game, both of them by Lynn Tech. The runner takes off and easily steals second base. So we mentioned Galva got hurt, came out of the game yesterday, started the game today. I talked to him before the game. He said he was okay. He played into the second inning. He got an at-bat. And now he's out. He's on the bench. And Kyle Furlong, as he did yesterday, comes in and replaces him at first base. Chased that pitch that was way up and in. Eddie Lewis Jr. drew a walk and wound up at third base with only 1 out, but a strikeout and a fly ball got Thomas out of the inning. Eddie, son of obviously of Eddie Lewis, the coach, who was a very good player at Lynn Tech. Very good athlete at Lynn Tech. Call third strike. He took that pitch right down the middle. Thomas gets his fourth strikeout. He's got at least one in every inning. Colin Newhall laid down a perfect sacrifice after Lewis had walked and stole second. Hit foul. Almost made it to the press box. That wasn't as close as it was yesterday. The runner takes off for third, and they throw it away. He's going to score. Chris Boyd manufactures a run. After the base hit, steals second, steals third. And when the throw goes into left field, he comes around to score. So Tech gets on the board. He had third base stolen. And then the throw went way over the head of the third baseman Benson out into left field. And even though he slid into third, he easily got up and scored standing up and gets Tech on the board. Chased that off-speed pitch. He was way out in front of it. Back-to-back strikeouts for the first two outs of the third inning. Kieran Quinones, the third baseman, was called out on strikes his one trip. Waves at that pitch. Chops it to first base. Easy play for Furlong. But Tech gets on the board. The leadoff single. 2 stolen bases in the error. Gets him on the board. Five strikeouts for Thomas through 3 innings. And for English, it'll be 3, 4, and 5. As Diaz, starting his third inning of work, will face. So this is similar to the English's game. Actually, Somerville got 7 runs in the third inning, and they only got 3 base hits. English gets 3 runs in the second inning. They don't get a base hit. Diaz is still pitching a no-hitter, but he's down 3-0. Kirill Benson, Kyle Furlong, who came in to play first base for Galva, and Engel Thomas will be the three hitters as we start the bottom of the third inning. So through 7 innings yesterday, 3 innings today, English has 1 base hit. They got a slap to shortstop that they just beat the throw at first base, or the Somerville pitcher would have pitched a no-hitter. That's the only hit they have in 9 innings. But they're leading this one 3-0. Hit batsman and a walk. In for a strike. Benzel got hit by a pitch in the first inning. One of 3 that Diaz has hit. Good curveball. 0-2. He knew it too. He walked away as soon as he took the pitch. 3 good pitches by Diaz. Gets him his second strikeout. Kyle Furlong up for the first time. He came in to play first base when he replaced Gilbert Galva, who was limping a little bit on that leg that he hurt yesterday falling down over first base. Down and in for a ball. In for a strike. Swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. Hit foul to the backstop. And he stays alive at 1-2. Hit in the air. Nice try by the first baseman Nagel. He was worried about running into the fence. Try to catch it. Try to make sure he didn't run into the fence. So Furlong gets the swing again. Diaz started to throw. Furlong wasn't set in the batter's box. They called time. Furlong helped the umpire out, calling it a hit batsman. Four people hit by Diaz. Thomas, who's up at bat, was one of the hit batsmen. He came around to score the first run. Missing inside for a ball. Both teams have been running. I thought they'd send Furlong down. They throw over, he dives back safe. on the corner for a strike. Just missed inside. It goes 2-1. Missing wide for a ball. Lined in the right field for a base hit. Thomas saw it for the second time. He gets the first base hit for the Bulldogs. They scored their 3 runs without a base hit. Now he gets the first hit for the English. And we're going to get a trip out to the mound. So after a strikeout, a hit batsman and a base hit put runners at first and second for the Dogs. Tech out hitting English 2-1. But 2 hit batsmen and a walk set up English for 2 sacrifice flies, and then a fielder's choice that they were late, bobbling the ball, throwing it home. Another run scored. And that's where we are. But Tech got to run back. Well, they hit 2 stolen bases, and stealing third, they threw the ball into left field. So it's 3-1, but English trying to get that run back, maybe more, if they can. Julian Rodriguez got hit by a pitch and scored a run, one of the 3. Swing and a miss. So 4 hit batsmen. 2 of them so far has scored. One of them is at second base with 1 out. Chop foul behind home plate. And the count goes 0-2. Call strike 3, good pitch. Looked like he took something off. So he started with a strikeout, hit a batter, gave up a hit, gets another strikeout. Elian Pena, the catcher, walked and scored. So a walk and 2 of the hit batsmen have scored. Popped up in foul territory, off the catcher's glove. It's a tough play for the catcher. He's running to the ball. The pitcher and the first baseman were both coming to the ball. They had an easier play, but they let the catcher, Nordyke, try to catch it, and it went off his glove. They were lucky it was in foul territory. So the 0-2 pitch up and coming. Hit the shot. They throw it away. They try to get the force. They're going to send the runner home. 2 runs are going to score. They were late going to second base, and then they threw it over the second baseman's head. Thomas scores all the way from first base. Pena winds up at second. So they got the one back that Tech got, and they said, we'll see you that one, and we'll raise you one. Wide for the ball. So 3 of the 4 hit batsmen have scored. The walk has scored. Hit to center field. Boyd comes on and makes the play, but the damage is done. A hit batsman, a base hit, and a huge infield error. And hustling Thomas all the way from first base scored when they threw it out in the outfield. English gets 2, and now they've improved their lead. It was 3-0. Tech made it 3-1, and now we played 3 full. English has pushed that lead to 5-1 over the Tigers at the end of 3. Kendall Diaz, the pitcher, will lead off the 4th inning. In for a strike. Thomas starting his 4th inning of work. He's been given a little bigger cushion. He had a 2-run cushion starting the 3rd inning. He's got a 4-run cushion starting this inning. Lined in the right field for a base hit. Diaz goes the other way. He gets the 3rd hit for Tech. Dylan Nordyke, the catcher, flies to left field. Hit to short. They get 1. They don't get 2. They throw it away. So they get the lead runner on the force out. On the throwing error, Nordyke goes to second. And we're going to session coming out, everybody coming out to the mound. That gives Coach Eddie Lewis a chance to talk to hitter and runner. Now, I'm not sure, I don't know if they think the runner going to second interfered with the second baseman. I think that's why they're out there. They're not going to get the call. They were trying to get the umpire to say the runner interfered. That's why the ball was thrown away, and it would be a double play. They weren't going to get the double play anyway. Collado, the hitter, is the second baseman for the Tigers. I've gone this far. I apologize. This now, it's Lynn Tech, but it's Lynn Tech Kip combined. Chop to third. They throw the runner out. The runner goes to third. Nice play by Benson over to Furlong for the out. So the runner goes to third. Richard Nangle got a base hit. Got the first hit of the game in the second inning. One of 3 hits that Tech has. Hit foul back and out of play. Hit to left field, starting to come on, now backing up. Another one-handed catch by Rodriguez Almost came in too far. So Tech leaves a runner at third. First inning that Thomas didn't get a strikeout. He's got 5. Diaz will start his 4th inning of work. And I have to remind everybody, don't count this Tech team out. The games they played, a couple of the games they played, they were losing and they had a big comeback late in the game. One of the games they had a late comeback and they just fell short 8-7. Another one they came back and won the game. So don't count them out till the game is over. For English, it'll be 9-1-2, starting the bottom of the 4th inning. Through 3 innings, English has 1 base hit, and they're leading 5-1. Diaz has hit 4, walked 1. 3 of the 4 hit batsmen have scored. The walker scored. A huge infield error by Tech helped English to get 2 runs after Tech had cut it to 3-1. And that's where we are, 5-1 as we start the bottom of the 4th inning. We're halfway through the ball game. The infield hurt Diaz with that error, but Diaz had hurt himself with the walk and 4 hit batsmen. 2 of them coming back to back. Actually, the walk and the 1 walk and 2 of the hit batsmen came back to back to back to start the 2nd inning when English got their 3 runs. Saul Herrera got an RBI. He hit a ground ball to third. The runner from third coming home was a dead duck, but the ball was bobbled. The throw was late. The run scored. Herrera reached first, and he got an RBI. Swing and a miss. He chased that up and away. Swing and a miss again. Tap right back to the pitcher. Diaz makes the play. He backed away a little bit and just slapped at it and hit it right back to Diaz. So one up, 1 down in the 4th. Eward Beato, the shortstop, grounded out short to first, hit a sacrifice fly for an RBI, knocking in 1 of the 3 in the 2nd inning. Reached for that one and fouled it off the catcher. That 2nd inning was when English went the other way 3 times. 2 fly balls to right field for the RBIs, and the last out was a fly ball to right field. Spain got 3 putouts in the inning. High for a ball. Nice pitch on the outside corner. Just caught the corner. And it's 1-2. Umpire, I can hear him a little bit now. He's saying strike and then bringing the right arm up. Down and in for a ball. And the count evens at 2. Few people here. Tech got a few. English has got a few on a bitterly cold day, and it's cooled off quite a bit now. Hit foul towards the English dugout. So we'll do it again at 2-2. That's going to be out of play. Down on that grassy knoll behind first base. Hit foul again as he reached for that one. I'm not sure what's going on at Minute Field. That obviously the track practice is over. Looked like there might be 2 lacrosse teams, but I didn't see any bus drop any team off. Line shot, he got out in front of it enough to pull it foul. Hit it well, but got out in front of it. Looked like too many people to be a lacrosse practice, because there were 2 separate groups running around over there. And both groups had a lot of people in it. The 2-2 pitch. High and tight. Good at bat by Beato, hanging around, making Diaz throw some pitches. Hit. That's a good at bat. He gets a base hit. That's only the second hit for the Bulldogs. It comes with 1 out in the 4th inning. Gil McGalva grounded the third, hit it hard right at the third baseman, and then flied out to right field. His was the 3rd fly to right field that ended that 3-run second inning. Just a little lob toss over to first. Galvo looking down the third base coach for a sign. The runner takes off in easily with a stolen base. Both teams have been running. Can't get their run by running. Stole second and stole third when they threw the ball in the outfield. Boyd came around and scored. I don't know what that was all about. They talked to Eddie Lewis, the coach. I don't know if they thought he was coming out to talk to the pitcher. Popped up. It's going to go up in the seats. Squares the butt, the ball got thrown by. That wasn't anywhere near anybody. That just sailed away. That got away from Diaz. Flew to the backstop. That's a major league wild pitch. So English has a runner at third with one out. Hit foul off to the right side. Count evens at 2. Way wide for a ball. Count goes full, 3-2. Strike 3 called on the inside corner. Galva took it, thought it was inside. Nice pitch by Diaz. Benson had to become a right-handed hitter to get out of the way of that pitch. It was way behind him. Nordijk did a good job to get that. Normally that would go to the backstop. Benson got hit by a pitch and was called out on strikes. In for a strike. He had to do a little soft shoe dance to get out of the way of that pitch, but Nordijk did a great job not letting that ball go by. That's a call third strike. He didn't like that call again. So they get a runner as far as third, and Diaz gets 2 call third strikes to keep the runner at third. So we finished 4 in this intercity battle. English holding on to a 5-1 lead over the Tigers of Lynn Tech and Kip. And 1 for the Tigers. Tries to bunt and misses it. Terry Spain struck out swinging his 1 trip. Both pitchers have struck out 5. Both pitchers have walked 1. The difference is Diaz has hit 4 batters. 3 of his hit batsmen and his 1 walk have scored. English's base hits have not really figured into their runs. Swinging and miss for strike 3 against Spain for the 2nd time. The strikeout starts the 5th inning. Chris Boyd got the 1 run. He got the first or the 2nd hit for Tech. Stole 2nd, had 3rd base stolen easily. They threw the ball to 3rd, threw it into left field, and he came around and scored, and that at the time made it 3-1. English got 2 runs back. Boy, there's some screaming going on. There's going to be some sore throats tomorrow. Hit foul again. A couple of the young ladies down there helping the Tech bench to scream and yell and holler. Backs off the curve ball, hung high and inside. Hit high in the air. Shortstop backing up. Takes it away from the left fielder, Rodriguez. Vieira went out, picked it off. 2 up, 2 down in the 5th. Top of the order, Eddie Lewis Jr. He walked. Last time up, he was called on strikes. High and tight for a ball. Eddie Lewis Jr. is the shortstop. Swing and a miss, chase the high fastball. Hit in the air outside first base. Furlong makes the one-handed catch. So a 1-2-3 inning. That's the first 1-2-3 inning by either pitcher. Thomas picked up his 6th strikeout. We'll move into the bottom half of the 5th, and it'll be 4, 5, and 6. For the Bulldogs, leading this one 5-1. Kyle Furlong, who came in to play first base when Gilbert Galvin was removed. We hope he's going to be okay. He's been up once. He's one of the hit batsmen, one of 4. And one of 3 of those 4 that came around to score. He scored on a very easy play, the ground ball to shortstop. They were late going to second base. They really didn't have a play at second, but they threw it anyway, and then they threw it away. And not only did Furlong score, but Thomas, who was at first base, came all the way around and scored as well. They got 2 runs on the infield error. And that extended that 3-1 lead to 5-1 to where it is now, coming into the bottom of the 5th inning. So it'll be Furlong, Engel Thomas, and Julian Rodriguez to face Jendal Diaz, starting his 5th inning of work. Diaz has only given up 2 hits. Only 1 figured in the scoring, reaching base and scoring a run. And the reason they scored was that was the 2nd run scoring on the infield error. Hit foul out of play. Fans have hung around in this ice cold day. Good pitch for a strike. Quickly 0-2. He knew it. He's going to before the umpire even raised his right arm, he's going to the dugout. So again, both pitchers have 6 strikeouts and 1 walk. But again, those 4 hit batsmen and the big infield error, costly for the Tigers. Hit foul back. Well enough to the right of us, we didn't have to duck. That made it over the backstop, but it was well to our right. As opposed to yesterday when it bounced almost in my lap. Waved at that pitch, chased that, and was up and away. He lines that one in the right center field for a base hit. He's got his second hit. He's been on base 3 times. And he scored 2 runs. And he's pitching a pretty good game, too. So Thomas being involved in offensively and defensively in this game. Julian Rodriguez got hit by a pitch, scored. Last time up, he was called on strikes. Up and away for a ball. I don't know if he was trying to bunt or if he was trying to protect the runner stealing second. The runner didn't go. The runner went that time in easily with a stolen base. We mentioned it. Both teams have been running. Yeah, we're going to, everybody converging on the mound. Eddie Lewis was on his way out. He stopped. Now he's on his way out. So a strikeout, a base hit, and a stolen base gives English a runner at second with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. We mentioned English will be one of the 4 teams playing in the Dougie Mullins tournament. We hope everybody can get involved and help out any way you can. Diaz is going to be removed. So Colin Newhall will be the new pitcher for the Tigers. Diaz will take his place in left field. And I was mentioning the Dougie Mullins tournament, English, Classical, St. Mary's, and Swampscott. And that's an outstanding tournament at the end Memorial Day weekend. I think it's May 23rd and 24th, I think, Friday and Saturday. Friday 4 and 7, and then it starts Saturday morning with the consolation and final. And again, it honors a great young man who left way too early. Had a lot more to accomplish. He accomplished an awful lot in his few years. But he had a lot more to give. He worked so hard working with young people. He loved to work with young people. He helped them on the field be better players, and he helped them off the field to be better people. And he touched a lot of people. And it's nice that he can be remembered with the baseball tournament. And we mentioned it's given out like $12,000 in scholarships. Each one of the 4 teams gets a scholarship. So if you see anywhere where you can chip in or help out, or at least show up and honor Dougie on that weekend here at Frazier Field. Honoring an outstanding young man. We mentioned Julian Rodriguez get hit by a pitch and scored. Was called on strikes. Hits it in the air. Eddie Lewis Jr. I was just about to say the runner better hurry up and get back to second base. So Diaz goes 4 1/3 innings. Strikes out 6. Walks a batter. Gives up 3 base hits. Hits 4. 3 of the runs were earned, 2 of the runs were unearned, and he's on the short end. Popped up. They throw it away. The runner's going to score. The first baseman went way over to get the ball, and then he tried to get back to the bag to cover the bag. And when they flipped it to him, he was running back to the bag and went off him behind first base. Thomas scores his 3rd run of the game. And Jacob Ozuna is going to run for Pena. So instead of 3 outs, English gets another run. Tech being very charitable. Nice play by Nordyke to go and get that one. Nangle, the first baseman, went way to his right to try and field that. The pitcher wasn't coming to first base to cover, so the second baseman, Collado, went to get they let Collado get the ball, and when he threw it to first, Nangle was running back to the bag trying to get there before the runner, and they threw it behind them. And the runner comes around to score. In for a strike. So 3 of the runs unearned, thanks to infield errors. Swing and a miss. Josue Prandy has hit a sacrifice fly and flied out to center field. His sacrifice fly was one of 3 fly balls to right field in that second inning. Way bounced that way wide. So it looked like they were out of the inning after the pop-up and that ground ball to the infield, but they threw it away. He strikes him out, but the outcome's a little bit late. So they get the run with a base hit along with the error. We played 5 full. English now expands that lead. It's now English 6, Lynn Tech 1 going into the 6th inning. I missed a batter someplace. I thought Newhall was supposed to be up. In for a strike. This is Jaron Quinones, the third baseman, who was supposed to be calling Newhall. He is called on the strikes and bounced to the first baseman. In for a strike. And they're batting it out of order. because Newhall is on deck. Newhall is the second hitter. Cornelius is the third hitter. High for a ball. Swing and a miss. Newhall was supposed to lead off the inning. He's now batting now. They're batting out of order. Chop to short. Good, strong throw by Beato. They throw Newhall out. Two up, two down. Diaz is now the left fielder. He'll be the hitter. So they batted out of order, but they let it go. Diaz is fly to the left and got a base hit. He's got one of the three hits. Swing and a miss. Quickly 0-2. High for a ball. This is amazing. Both teams have three hits, and English is leading 6-1. Chop to shot. Beato. Little lot toss over, but a 1-2-3 inning. Second 1-2-3 inning. They batted out of order, but English let it go. Newhall start an inning for the first time. And Tech is down to their last 3 outs as we move into the bottom half of the sixth. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Bulldogs. 3 outs away from picking up their first win. And it'll kind of ease the pain from yesterday's game against Somerville, where they got shut out and only had one base hit. But it's amazing that both teams have 3 hits. And both the starting pitchers walked only 1. So you would think the game would be a little bit closer. But Tech, being the visiting team here, even though it's their home field, they're very gracious guests, as they've committed some big errors. Along with Diaz hitting 4. So the 1 walk he issued and 3 of the 4 batters he hit have all scored. And then those 3 runs that scored on the error, the 2-run error in the 3rd and the error here in the bottom of the 5th. Angel Dela Cruz, pinch hitting. So it's Angel Dela Cruz hitting for Saul Herrera, who was the DH, hitting for Danel Fuentes. In on the hands, he punched it to the backstop, and it's 0-2. Way inside for a ball. So English has scored 3 on Tigers errors. The 1 run that Tech had scored on an English error. Didn't miss by much. Hit off to the right side. It's going to hook foul. First baseman was looking, couldn't find it. When he finally did, he couldn't go get it. Luckily for Tech, it was fouled down the right side. He beats it. It's a base hit, and they throw it away. He beat the throw for an infield hit, and then they throw it away, the error, and he goes to second base. So he gets the infield hit. They should have held the ball because he beat just a little tap between the pitcher and the second baseman, and the second baseman still thought he had a play, threw it by the first baseman, and Dela Cruz winds up at second base with nobody out. Beato was grounded to second, hit a sacrifice fly, and singled. All of that against Diaz. Wow, we just saw his life pass in front of him there. That just missed hitting him in the head. The 2-0 pitch. Solid shot in the left field for a base hit. The runner had to hold up to see if the ball would be caught. He gets his second hit. English has first and third with nobody out. For Galva, who was grounded to third, fly to right. Last time up, he was called out on strikes. I would assume we're going to see Beato, or Beato, I'll say it again both ways, will steal second base. Off and running. Galva hit the pitch foul. So Beato will have to go back. I don't know if it's Beato or Beato. I'll have to find out because I'll be doing a few of their games. Takes off again. So second and third with nobody out. Down and away for a ball. Kirill Benzin on deck. Hit in the air behind home plate. Nordyke he tried to get the helmet off. When he got the helmet off, he tripped over the helmet and went down and couldn't get back and make a play. He turned to go get the ball. He took the helmet off so he could see it, field it, and when he threw it down, he tripped over it and couldn't make a play. So Galva got a break. Way up high, and it hit him on the helmet, and that's another hit batsman. Lewis thought he leaned into it. Five hit batsmen by Tech pitching, 4 of them by Diaz, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. For Benson, the third baseman, he got hit by a pitch. Last 2 times up against Diaz, he was called out on strikes. In for a strike. He has not been happy going back to the dugout the last 2 times. Up and away for a ball. Hit in the air. Going out, shortstop. Eddie Lewis Jr. makes a nice play tracking it down. Not deep enough for anybody to go anywhere. Kyle Furlong, who came in to play first base, has been up twice. He got hit by a pitch and scored. Last time up, he was called out on strikes. And he's facing Newhall for the first time. There's a mob of people over at Manning Field. I don't know if it's 2 lacrosse teams practicing. Pitch way inside, and he swung at it anyway, up and in, and it's 0-2. Hit. It's a fair ball, by the way. He tagged the runner at third for the out. That's only 2 outs. Did they call 3? He called a double play. He tagged the runner at third, and then he tagged the bag. The third baseman gets 2 outs on the play. The runner from third didn't go. They tagged him. He tagged the bag for the force out. It was a fair ball. And nobody ran. I've never seen that ever. Talk about a wacky ending to an inning. Third baseman gets 2 putouts on the same play. English doesn't score, but it's 6-1. Tech with their last 3 outs coming up in the 7th inning. 6-1 English over Tech. Jareel Benzin will pitch the 7th inning for Lynn English. Wilfredo Perez will go to third base. Tight for a ball. Dylan Nordyke fly to left, reach center fielder's choice. Swing and a miss. So Thomas was outstanding. Thomas went 6 innings, gave up 3 base hits, struck out 7, walked 1. The 1 run was unearned. It was an error. High for a ball. So he did an outstanding job. Swing and a miss. 8 strikeouts for Tech pitching. Albert Collado has struck out, grounded to third. In for a strike. I thought it was going to be low. The arm came up, so it's in for a strike. Chased that pitch that was up and in. Benson, a little mustard on the pitch. Hit in the air. It bounces in for a base hit. Just inside the line, down the right field line. Collado gets a base hit. Thomas moved the ball around a little bit. Benson comes in and just says, I'm going to throw as hard as I can, see if you can hit it. Richard Nangle got a base hit and fly to left. High and tight for a ball. High again. Benson works quickly. He gets the ball back. He's ready to throw. In for a strike. Hit to right field, coming on. Fuentes makes the play. So Tech is down to that last out. Francis Rodney will hit for Spain. In for a strike. Hit in the air to left field. Rodriguez backs up, makes another one-handed catch, and that's going to do it. English will get their first win. Tech will drop under 500. They'll go to 2-3. English will get to 500. They'll go to 1-1. They can forget about the game yesterday and think about this game today as they get in the win column. English got 3 in the second inning without a base hit. Thomas got hit by a pitch. Rodriguez got hit by a pitch. Pena walked, loading the bases. Prandy hit a sacrifice fly. The run attacking up, going to third. The run scored. Herrera hit a shot to third base. The runner coming from third, they had a play to throw him out, but they bobbled it, and they bobbled it just long enough for the run to score. Rodriguez scoring. And then a sacrifice fly by Biedo made it 3-0. Tech got their 1 run in the third inning. Boyd led with a base hit, stole second. He had third base stolen. When they threw it down, they threw it over the third baseman's head into left field. He scored to make it 3-1, and that's as close as they would come. English got 2 more in the third inning. Again, a hit batsman. Furlong got hit. Thomas got a base hit, first and second. A ground ball thrown away, trying to get the force at second, threw it into the outfield. Furlong scored from second. Thomas came all the way around from first to score. That made it 5-1. And then in the 5th inning, after an out, Thomas got his second hit. He stole second. A little tap to the second baseman. They threw it away at first base. Thomas scored, and that made it 6-1, and that was the final score. Thomas was the winning pitcher. He struck out 7, gave up only 3 hits, walked a batter. The run he gave up was unearned. He was outstanding. Benson came on and gave up a base hit, but got a strikeout in the 7th to shut Tech down and close the door. For Tech, Diaz had a base hit, Collado had a base hit, Nangle had a base hit, and Boyd had a base hit. They got 4, and Boyd scored the 1 run. For English, Pieto had a sacrifice fly and got 2 base hits, so he was 2 for 3. Furlong got hit by a pitch, scored a run. Thomas, besides pitching outstandingly, he got hit by a pitch, got 2 base hits, scored 3 runs. Rodriguez got hit by a pitch, scored a run. Pena was on base 3 times, twice with errors. His first error was thrown away and 2 runs scored. He walked his first time and scored a run. Prandy, the second baseman, had a sacrifice fly. Herrera reached on a fielder's choice. That was the runner scoring from third when they were late throwing the ball home. He got an RBI. And pinch hitting for him, Angel De La Cruz had a base hit. So Thomas, the winning pitcher, was outstanding, striking out 7, giving up only 3 hits and walking 1. And it was hit batsmen and a few errors thrown in that cost Tech. And Tech will drop to 2-3. English will go to 1-1. And hopefully, when we come back, this being Friday, when we come back next week, the weather will be a little bit better for baseball, as it is still ice cold here at Frazier Field. So English gets back on the winning track after losing yesterday. Played 2 days in a row, and they go 1-1. Tech drops to 2-3, 6-1. English over Tech in this intercity battle, actually over Tech Kip combined. So we hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.